We live in an era of groundbreaking technology and scientific discoveries, but did you know that ancient civilizations, some over 10,000 years old, possessed wisdom that modern science is only beginning to understand? One of the most intriguing sources of this knowledge comes from the Hermetic Principles, a set of timeless teachings that have been passed down through the ages. These principles, believed to be at least 5,000 years old, are attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a mysterious figure revered as a synthesis of the Egyptian god Thoth and the Greek god Hermes. The Hermetic teachings have been influential in shaping many philosophical and spiritual traditions, and while the exact origins remain unclear, they were notably recorded in the Kybalion, a book published in 1908 by the mysterious authors known as the Three Initiates. These teachings are more than ancient wisdom. They offer a framework for understanding the fundamental laws of the universe, principles that still resonate with modern scientific discoveries. The Hermetic principle of mentalism teaches us that everything in the universe is mental, existing in the mind of the all, a source or universal consciousness that is beyond individual minds. Everything from atoms to galaxies, from the material world to the metaphysical, is created from and influenced by thought. The reality we experience is not a static objective structure, but a dynamic interplay of mental energy. The power of thought is a creative force, capable of shaping reality. Many individuals struggle with deeply ingrained beliefs, but once those beliefs are transformed, their experience of the world can change dramatically. For instance, someone who believes they cannot succeed in life may find obstacles everywhere they turn, reinforcing their sense of failure. However, when that individual shifts their mental framework and begins to believe in their ability to succeed, they often start noticing opportunities they previously overlooked, and their life begins to align with this new belief. This is a practical demonstration of the principle of mentalism. Our beliefs shape the reality we encounter. The concept of manifestation, popularized in modern self-help and spiritual communities, stems directly from this principle. When we focus our thoughts on a desired outcome and align our mental energy toward achieving it, the universe responds by bringing circumstances into alignment. For example, an entrepreneur who visualizes success, puts effort into their vision, and focuses their thoughts on a thriving business will likely take actions and make choices that lead them toward achieving their goals. Related to manifestation, the law of attraction posits that thinking positively and maintaining a high vibrational frequency can attract positive experiences and people into your life. This aligns with the principle of mentalism, where our thoughts and mental state directly affect our external reality. People who maintain positive thoughts are more likely to experience positive outcomes. At a philosophical level, the principle of mentalism raises the question of what is real. Since everything is a construct of the mind, reality is subjective and dependent on the observer. This brings to mind the philosophical school of idealism, which posits that reality is primarily mental and cannot exist without a mind to perceive it. Thinkers like George Berkeley and Immanuel Kant have explored similar concepts, suggesting that reality is shaped by perception. From this standpoint, reality exists because it is observed, and the quality of observation plays a crucial role in defining what is real. The most profound implication of the principle of mentalism is the understanding that reality is, to a large extent, a reflection of our minds. If the universe is fundamentally mental, it means that our perception of the world is malleable and shaped by our thoughts, beliefs, and consciousness. This principle challenges the conventional worldview that reality is something fixed and external, independent of human thought. The ability to shape reality through thought is revolutionary. It encourages us to cultivate mindfulness and intentionality in our thinking. If we realize that our inner world dictates our outer world, we can consciously choose the thoughts we entertain, much like a sculptor carving out a masterpiece. For example, people who dwell in fear, anger, or pessimism tend to attract negative situations that mirror these feelings. On the other hand, those who cultivate joy, gratitude, and optimism often find themselves in circumstances that reflect these states of mind. Modern physics, particularly quantum mechanics, resonates with this principle. The famous observer effect suggests that particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until they are observed. This mirrors the idea that thoughts influence reality, and without an observer, the possibilities remain infinite. The more we focus on a specific possibility, the more it becomes our reality. Thus, Embracing the principle of mentalism invites us to be mindful architects of our own experiences. By consistently focusing on positive, expansive thoughts, we can create a reality that is in alignment with our highest ideals. The principle of correspondence is based on the idea that everything is interconnected, and that the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual, are reflections of each other. There is an inherent symmetry in the universe, and everything is part of a greater whole. Understanding how patterns work on one level allows us to understand them on another, making this principle a key to deeper insight and mastery of the self. In psychology, the notion of the inner self reflecting the outer world is a key insight. If someone is constantly filled with negative emotions or beliefs, they often attract experiences that reflect these internal states. Relationships that reinforce their negativity or situations that highlight their fears. On the flip side, individuals who work on cultivating a peaceful, open, and positive mindset often find that their external reality begins to align with their inner state. A perfect example of the principle of correspondence is found in the body's relationship to the universe. Ancient traditions often describe the human body as a microcosm of the larger universe. Just as planets revolve around the sun, the human circulatory system involves blood circulating through arteries and veins, resembling a cosmic flow. Similarly, the balance of elements within our body, such as water, earth, fire, and air, mirrors the balance of the universe's forces. By understanding how energy and matter interact within the body, we can also understand how they work in the wider universe. The study of astrology also draws heavily on this principle. Astrologers believe that the positions of celestial bodies at the time of our birth influence our personality traits, behavior, and life experiences. This is a direct reflection of the as above, so below philosophy, where the outer cosmos mirrors our inner life and changes in one are reflected in the other. The principle of correspondence echoes the teachings of Plato and other ancient philosophers, who believed that the patterns in the world of ideas, the forms, correspond to the world of sensory experience. In his famous work, The Republic, Plato discusses how the ideal forms of things are eternal and unchanging, while the physical world is a mere reflection of these ideal forms. Understanding this connection helps us perceive the world more deeply and teaches us that nothing in the physical world exists in isolation. Everything is a reflection of a larger cosmic order. The principle of correspondence teaches us that all levels of reality are interconnected. What happens on one plane, mental, physical, or spiritual, is mirrored in the others. This interconnectedness implies that a small change in our mindset, actions, or environment can create a ripple effect across all aspects of our existence. The idea that as above, so below encourages us to work on our inner world, thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, as a way of transforming our outer world. If you wish to manifest abundance, for instance, aligning your mindset with abundance and prosperity will bring external circumstances into alignment with that belief. On a spiritual level, individuals who cultivate inner peace often experience better physical health. Practices like meditation, yoga, and energy work can bring about balance in the body because they create harmony between the internal and external realms. The universe operates like a giant clock where each gear or individual plays a role in the functioning of the whole. This interdependence reminds us that we are not separate from the universe, but part of a larger cosmic design. Every action, no matter how small, has a far-reaching impact. The principle of correspondence teaches that the law of balance is universal. If you desire to achieve balance, harmony, and success in one area of your life, you must first bring balance to your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, recognizing that inner alignment creates outer alignment. The principle of vibration asserts that everything in existence is in a constant state of motion, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxies. Nothing is static. All matter and energy vibrate at certain frequencies, and the universe itself is a pulsating, vibrating field of energy. This principle suggests that reality is fluid and ever-changing, constantly shifting in response to the vibrations of thought, emotion, and physical matter. One of the most relatable examples of vibration is the effect emotions have on our energy. For example, when you feel angry or anxious, your body often exhibits signs such as tense muscles, quickened breath, and a rapid heartbeat. These are the physical manifestations of your emotional state. which is vibrational in nature. On the flip side, when you're calm, peaceful, and centered, your energy vibrates at a much more balanced frequency, and this can result in improved health, clearer thinking, and better decision-making. Practices like Reiki, acupuncture, and sound healing work with vibrational energy. They operate on the premise that the energy fields of the body can be disrupted by emotional or physical blockages, leading to disease or discomfort. These practices aim to restore the body's natural vibration, facilitating healing and promoting a sense of balance and well-being. At the quantum level, matter is not solid or stable, but is a constant swirl of energy vibrating at specific frequencies. The famous double-slit experiment in quantum physics demonstrated that particles, like electrons, behave as both particles and waves, depending on how they are observed. This highlights the principle of vibration, that what we perceive as physical matter is in fact energy vibrating at different frequencies. The idea that nothing rests challenges our concept of a stable material world. It resonates with Buddhism and other Eastern philosophies, which teach that everything is impermanent and in constant flux. Heraclitus, the ancient Greek philosopher, famously stated that you cannot step into the same river twice, emphasizing the ever-changing nature of reality. According to this view, the apparent stability of the world is an illusion. Everything is in a constant state of becoming. The principle of vibration expands upon the idea that everything in the universe, from the most solid objects to the most subtle thoughts, is in a state of constant motion. This movement is not only physical but energetic. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions are all forms of vibration, and these vibrations interact with the vibrations of others. The principle of vibration is deeply tied to the law of attraction, the idea that like attracts like. When we vibrate at a frequency of joy, love, or abundance, we attract experiences and people who share that frequency. Conversely, negative emotions like fear, anger, and doubt vibrate at lower frequencies, attracting undesirable situations. Our emotional state is an indicator of our vibrational frequency. Happiness, love, and compassion resonate at higher frequencies, while feelings of fear, anger, and resentment are lower. By consciously raising our vibration, through positive thoughts, meditation, or surrounding ourselves with high-energy people, we begin to attract more of what we desire into our lives. In this sense, we are all energy beings, and by choosing to raise our own vibrational frequency, we have the ability to change our life experience. The principle of vibration teaches us that every moment offers an opportunity to elevate our energy, thereby shifting the conditions around us. The principle of polarity reveals that everything has an opposite. Light and darkness, hot and cold, love and hate. These pairs are not distinct entities, but rather different degrees of the same thing. By understanding one, we can better understand its opposite, and this awareness leads to greater wisdom. Rather than being forces in opposition, polarities work together to create balance and harmony in the universe. In Chinese philosophy, the concept of yin and yang encapsulates the idea of polarity. Yin is associated with feminine, passive, dark, and receptive energy, while yang is masculine, active, light, and dynamic. These forces are not opposites in the sense of conflict. Rather, they complement each other and are necessary for balance. A healthy life is one that balances both yin and yang energies. Think about someone who has experienced extreme emotions, intense joy followed by deep sorrow. Both emotions are part of the same emotional spectrum. Understanding this allows individuals to recognize that just as a difficult period in life can be followed by a time of peace, so too can joy follow sorrow. The contrast between opposites allows us to fully appreciate both sides. The principle of polarity also applies to success and failure. In a business or personal context, failure can be seen as a necessary precursor to success. Often, our greatest learning comes from the mistakes we make. Failure is not a permanent state, but simply part of a larger cycle that leads to greater achievements. Polarity aligns with Hegelian dialectics, where opposites, thesis and antithesis, interact to create synthesis. This philosophical framework suggests that reality evolves through the resolution of contradictions. When two opposing forces meet, they do not destroy each other, but rather combine to form something new and more advanced. This process of transformation is an essential aspect of personal and societal growth. The principle of polarity emphasizes that opposites are not just contrasts, they are two extremes of the same thing. Heat and cold, light and dark, love and hate. These pairs are not separate but exist on a continuum. Recognizing this allows us to transmute negative experiences into positive ones by changing our perspective on them. This principle provides the key to emotional mastery. If we feel anger or resentment, we can transform it into love or compassion by shifting our focus and understanding that these emotions are two sides of the same coin. For instance, anger often stems from feeling powerless, but by focusing on empowerment, we can shift from anger to self-empowerment or compassion. In society, we often see polarization, extreme opinions, political divisions, and social conflict. The principle of polarity reminds us that these are merely the two ends of a spectrum. Rather than fighting against the extremes, we can seek to find the middle ground, understanding that the solution may lie in integrating both sides. The dual nature of existence can be seen as part of our spiritual journey. Growth occurs when we face challenges and contradictions as they push us to evolve. Overcoming adversity leads to greater strength and wisdom. The principle of polarity encourages us to embrace the full spectrum of experience, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity to elevate our consciousness. The principle of rhythm tells us that everything in the universe operates in cycles or rhythmic patterns. Whether it's the flow of time, the changing seasons, or the rise and fall of nations, everything follows a rhythm. The natural cycles in the universe and our personal lives reflect this idea of ebb and flow. Recognizing these patterns can help us align with the flow of life, making it easier to move with the changes rather than resist them. The changing seasons provide a clear example of rhythm. Spring brings new growth, summer is a time of abundance, fall represents harvesting and letting go, and winter is a time of rest and reflection. Understanding this rhythm allows us to align our personal goals with the natural flow of the year. In business, for example, companies often plan their marketing and growth cycles based on seasonal patterns. Similarly, the rhythms of life, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and old age, can be seen as a rhythm of human existence. Each stage brings its own set of challenges and opportunities, and navigating them with awareness of the cycles can help us move through life more gracefully. Recognizing that life is cyclical encourages patience during difficult times, knowing that they too will pass. The economy operates in cycles of growth, prosperity, recession, and recovery. Understanding these patterns allows governments, businesses, and individuals to make informed decisions. For instance, in times of economic downturn, people might tighten their spending, while in times of growth, they might invest more freely. The principle of rhythm aligns with the concept of eternal recurrence proposed by philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche and Heraclitus. Nietzsche's idea of eternal recurrence suggests that life's events repeat in a cyclical pattern, not necessarily exactly, but in similar rhythms. Understanding this principle enables us to accept change as part of the grand rhythm of the universe. Let's continue with the expansion of the remaining principles and wrap up with a mind-bending call to action that challenges the viewer's understanding of reality. The principle of rhythm teaches that everything in the universe follows a natural rhythm or flow. There are cycles, seasons, and phases that we must learn to navigate. This understanding helps us accept the ups and downs of life, knowing that every low is followed by a high, and vice versa. Recognizing the rhythms in our emotions allows us to accept both positive and negative emotional states, without getting stuck in them. During a challenging emotional period, the awareness that this too shall pass can help us ride the wave without being overwhelmed. Life itself operates in cycles. There are times of growth, times of rest, times of challenge, and times of triumph. Understanding that these rhythms are natural can help us surrender to the flow of life, rather than resisting it. Peak performance in any field often follows a rhythm. There are periods of intense focus and effort, followed by times of rest and recovery. By honoring these rhythms in our work and personal life, we can achieve sustained success without burnout. The principle of rhythm teaches us that life is a series of natural rhythms and cycles. Rather than fighting these natural flows, we can learn to harmonize with them, optimizing our energy and well-being. The principle of cause and effect is foundational to understanding the mechanics of the universe. It asserts that every action has a corresponding reaction, and nothing happens by chance. All events are the result of specific causes, whether seen or unseen, and each effect ripples outward, influencing other causes. This principle helps us understand the interconnectedness of everything and teaches that we are active participants in shaping the outcomes of our lives. One of the most widely recognized applications of this principle comes from the concept of karma, a belief common in Hinduism, Buddhism, and other Eastern traditions. Karma holds that every action, whether good or bad, leads to consequences that will manifest either in this life or future lives. The idea that our present actions influence future outcomes illustrates the principle of cause and effect. For example, if you act with kindness and generosity, you are more likely to receive kindness in return, either directly or indirectly. In chaos theory, the butterfly effect refers to the idea that small causes can have vast effects. The flutter of a butterfly's wings in one part of the world can, theoretically, set off a chain of events that leads to a storm in another part of the world. While this example is abstract, it illustrates how the principle of cause and effect works on a global scale. In everyday life, seemingly small actions, like offering a smile to a stranger, can have a profound ripple effect, spreading positivity and kindness far beyond what we can imagine. On a personal level, this principle encourages us to take accountability for our actions. If you are unhappy with your current circumstances, it's often the result of previous choices. Understanding that your actions create your reality gives you the power to make different choices and, consequently, shape the future. The principle of cause and effect connects closely with determinism, a philosophical view that every event, including human action, is the result of preceding events in accordance with the natural laws. Philosophers like Baruch Spinoza and David Hume have explored the relationship between cause and effect, noting that even free will may be subject to natural causality. This raises deep questions about the nature of free will. Are we truly free to choose, or are our decisions simply the result of prior causes? The interplay between cause, effect, and free will is a central mystery of philosophy and human experience. The principle of cause and effect is the key to understanding the law of responsibility. Every action we take, whether thought, word, or deed, has an effect on the world around us. We are not passive observers of life. We are active participants, co-creating our reality with every choice we make. This principle teaches us that we are responsible for the circumstances of our lives. If we desire change, we must recognize the role of our actions in shaping our current situation. By taking ownership of our choices, we regain control over our destiny. If we recognize that every effect has a cause, we can intentionally create the effects we want in our lives. Rather than waiting for life to happen, we can proactively take steps towards our goals, understanding that every action we take will lead us closer to the desired outcome. The principle of cause and effect also extends to our relationships. Every word we speak and every action we take impacts those around us. By acting with integrity, kindness, and responsibility, we create a positive ripple effect in the lives of others. By accepting responsibility for our thoughts and actions, we reclaim our power as creators of our own fate, shaping our destiny consciously. The principle of gender teaches that everything in the universe contains both masculine and feminine principles. These energies are not confined to biological sex but represent fundamental aspects of creation. The masculine principle embodies traits like action, logic, and structure, while the feminine principle represents intuition, creativity, and receptivity. Both energies are necessary for creation, and their balance gives rise to harmony. The masculine and feminine energies can be found not just in individuals but in the roles people play in society and culture. For example, in many cultures, men are often expected to embody the masculine traits of strength, assertiveness, and leadership, while women are expected to embody the feminine traits of nurturing, empathy, and intuition. However, this principle suggests that both men and women carry both masculine and feminine energies, which are necessary for balance. A woman might possess strong leadership qualities, masculine, while also embodying deep empathy, feminine. And likewise, a man might show sensitivity and intuition alongside action-oriented decision-making. The principle of gender can also be applied to the creative process. To bring an idea into reality requires both masculine energy, the logical and structured planning, the action and execution, and feminine energy, the intuitive insight, the nurturing, the openness to inspiration. The process of creating art, music, or even business ventures is often an interplay of these energies, where planning and structure combine with inspiration and fluidity. In modern life, finding a balance between work, masculine, and personal fulfillment, feminine, is crucial. For example, a business leader might focus heavily on achieving financial goals, masculine, but may find that true success comes from balancing that with time for family, relaxation, and self-care, feminine. Understanding how these energies operate in both the personal and professional spheres allows individuals to lead more balanced, fulfilling lives. The principle of gender echoes the teachings of Hermeticism, Taoism, and Jungian psychology. Carl Jung introduced the concept of anima and animus, the unconscious feminine and masculine aspects within each individual. According to Jung, the anima represents the feminine unconscious in men, while the animus represents the masculine unconscious in women. These inner energies must be integrated for psychological wholeness. Similarly, Taoism's yin and yang represent the dual nature of reality, showing how opposites not only complement each other but are also interdependent. The principle of gender teaches that creation itself relies on the interplay of masculine and feminine energies. Both energies exist in everything, and the balance between them determines the quality of creation. Whether in art, business, or personal development, both the masculine and feminine energies are required for successful creation. The masculine energy is focused, goal-oriented, and rational, while the feminine energy is intuitive, receptive, and creative. By balancing these energies within ourselves, we can tap into a more holistic and powerful creative process. The principle of gender also speaks to the need for balance in society's understanding of gender roles. Traditional gender expectations can limit individuals' potential. By embracing both masculine and feminine qualities in each person, we create a more inclusive and balanced society. The principle of gender calls us to embrace both aspects within ourselves, fostering a world where creation and transformation are a harmonious blend of both energies. Now that you've absorbed the 7 Hermetic Principles, consider this. If everything around you, your thoughts, your beliefs, the relationships you foster, and even the very air you breathe, is part of a vast, interconnected mental construct, what happens when you take full responsibility for the thoughts you think, the energy you emit, and the actions you take? What if you could break free from the illusion that the world is outside your control, and realize that you are the creator of your own reality, not just in theory, but in practice? Imagine this. If you truly understood and embodied the principles of mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender, could you unlock the secret to shaping your destiny? Could you tap into the unlimited creative power of the universe, bending the very fabric of reality to your will? The truth is, you already have that power. It's within you. Every thought you think, every action you take is a ripple in the grand ocean of creation. Now, ask yourself, what will you create next? Will you continue to live in the illusion that life happens to you? Or will you step into your true power and become the conscious creator of your reality? The universe is waiting for you to awaken. Now, it's time to make your move.